There's a good look inside Everbank Stadium here in downtown Jacksonville. Just about time to rock as toe gets ready to meet leather. And off we go from Jacksonville. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Now ETN to start the drive. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
Well, give them credit for trying, but there's no fooling the defense with that call. They were reading run, and they set up to stuff the run and then executed.
Now 2nd and 9. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Escaping the pressure right. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. Their opening drive here is going to result in a punt. They got 7 yards there, but not enough.
That was a good effort there, trying to do it on his own. But as a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you. And if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head.
So better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. And Walker with it over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a 1st down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice 1st down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on 1st down. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on 1st down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they've got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
That's complete to the tight end, Saubert. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. Off of play action, Darnold. Oh, he had a man open. He overshot him. It's incomplete.
And there, even if you've got to take something off that throw so that he slows down to catch it, that's far more preferable than what happened there. A big miss on what should have been a touchdown.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Darnold. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Devon Hamilton able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down.
Well, they've been fighting and scratching and clawing for that 1st sack in the game, and it turns out to be a big one. Not just a short one right there behind the line. First one they get, 10-plus yards on a guy who has the legs to escape most of these.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the 2nd time here in this game. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
Do you almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Lawrence will throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Lawrence to throw. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So, Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What a play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now a 7-0 game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. They'll start on the ground. ETN. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Big Leonard Williams, the one who came in and got him.
When Leonard Williams was picked in the 2015 NFL Draft, I compared him to Merlin Olsen. And I got a lot of grief about it. Did you just see that play there? Did you see how he made that move and made that tackle? That was Merlin Olsen-esque there.
I just perked up when you said Merlin Olsen.
Yeah, a lot of people said, hey, that's too much, too far, and maybe it is early, but I think this guy has a chance of fulfilling that. I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
They'll come up now 3rd and 9. Play action. It's Lawrence. That's complete to the rookie from Colorado. And he is going to have a Jags first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
And despite a nice juke there, really good move, he only gets about a yard, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, partner, I don't think it's any secret that any running back wants to be able to see a hole open so that he can gallop through it. But in this case, he had to slow down. There was really no hole there, and he took a big hit in order to get that 1 yard.
Now Lawrence. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
I think that's how this defense is going to need to play these tight ends. They got to get right up on them and stay physical. And that paid off on that play, helping force that incompletion.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Here's Lawrence to throw. He completes it to Hunter. And he will get this to the midfield stripe, but that's not going to be enough. He's a few yards short. A gain of 8 there on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
A Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Darnold now to throw. This is Fant on the short completion, and he's going to be touched down right at the line of scrimmage.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
Slot man moves right. Back to throw, Darnold. And his throw is incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Now it's Darnold. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. 30 yards there. And, of course, the first down as well. Well, that'll help get you out of danger. So much for playing it conservatively back towards your own goal line.
That aggressive mentality, sometimes you can use it, and they did there against a defense who probably thought to themselves, there's no way they take a shot here this deep in their own territory.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The former first-round pick, Eric Armstead, the one who got in there to make that play.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll get this up to about the 40. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
3rd and 8. Darnold. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
And a lot of being a defender is being able to learn what you can and can't get away with when in man coverage. In this case, he got away with it and helped pop that ball free.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Jaguars again ready to take over on offense. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. From the gun, it's Lawrence. He finds his man, complete. It's Hunter. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Here's Lawrence. He'll get this out to the flat for Etienne. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that'll make it second down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay game.
And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down. Again, it's Lawrence. And it's incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Lawrence. A short throw there to Strange. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
They went to their big body tight end on second down in hopes that he could plow his way to a first down, but they were ready for him defensively and ended up holding him to a modest gain.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Now Lawrence. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Jaguars first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A give running right, Etienne. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there. They've been out in the field for a long time, and that last run, they just cut right through them.
The ball resting on the 20. Here's 2nd and 6. Back to throw. Lawrence. He finds his man complete. That's Hunter. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. From the 4, this is 2nd down and 1. Now they'll put a receiver in motion left. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
From the gun on 3rd down, Lawrence. And that's complete to Etienne out of the backfield. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Travis Etienne from 4 yards out. And the Jags are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, That's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
Play action. It's Darnold. He's got his running back out of the backfield, and he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. 3rd down turns to 1st with that 5-yard pickup.
Short yardage situation, you have to wonder if they thought that they were just going to run it inside, but you have to be cognizant of the back slipping out of the backfield trying to find some open space, and that's exactly what he does to the tune of a first down.
Walker now on 1st and 10. Wiggles free. He'll get this up to the 47 and brought down there.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. From the 47 now, they'll work with a 2nd and 7. A play fake, and it's Darnold. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 35. Give him 18 on the play.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Faking the give, Darnold. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. That is Joshua Hines-Allen working his way in for the sack. Well, that time, it looked like he essentially just ran right into the pass rush.
Yeah, partner, I'm not much of an outdoorsman, but the fish jumped right into the net, didn't he? Because you've got to make sure that you're deep enough that you can get around the defensive end, have an angle there. But he couldn't do it because he actually cut that one off. Really nice play coming off the edge.
That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 15-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another first down.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
To throw is Darnold. This will be caught at about the 6. And the Seahawks are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Now Darnold. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Joshua Hines-Allen. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on 2nd and goal. From the gun, it's Walker. They do get 6, but they still got some work to do on 3rd and goal.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
On comes the Seahawk kicker here on 4th down. It's Jason Myers. A 33-yarder from the left hash. Myers' kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33. So they cite the right guard this time with a holding penalty.
And so many different assignments you can have at that position, and sometimes you might just be a step too late and have to grab and hold on.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. ETN up the middle. And he'll take this forward for 2, maybe 3. But we do have a flag down, and they're already marching backward. Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now defensively, you've almost got to get down to those starters blocks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. In motion, the tight end. On 2nd and a long way to go. Lawrence. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Well, touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and forever. And now another one thrown incomplete.
I know we spent a lot of time talking about how the defensive backs read routes and make plays on the football. How about a good linebacker? Feeling the route, seeing the quarterback, jumps the play, and knocks it away. Really well done.
On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. Fielded at the 33. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. Off of play action, Darnold. He completes this to Walker. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that's going to make it 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. It'll be just an 18-yard punt. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll look to Etienne to start things out. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd down and 8. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Now Myers for the extra point. It's good to make it 17-7. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Jaguars back with it on offense. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go around.
And sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
Any questions of how they'd approach this drive were answered right there. They come out throwing, and they get a nice pickup here toward the end of the first half.
On play action, Lawrence. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Lawrence will throw. He'll get this off to Etienne. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 27 yards there, a first down.
That turns into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right, and after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
Now Lawrence to throw. That's caught. It's Strange, the tight end. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. Here now, 2nd and 4. Now Lawrence. He'll find Etienne out of the backfield. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touch.
And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Brian Thomas, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Jaguars get a late score here in the final minute of the first half.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. Here's Steven Sims on the return from his end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Seahawks going to take over now late in this first half. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
The shotgun snap for Darnold. He'll let this go deep for Smith and Jigba. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense as they will take over here with a little more than 30 seconds remaining. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Now it's Darnold. That's caught over the middle by Fant. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And where the ball is now, you got the field goal pretty much in the bag. Now do you try for the end zone a couple of times?
I don't think there's any question about it. You might get a gift of 6 points rather than the 3 that you just noted that you feel like you already have. Be aggressive, go after it, and try and get those points.
Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Darnold. And Walker has it. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Back to throw, Darnold. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Cooper Kupp as the first half is winding down. And the Seahawks would extend their lead here just before halftime.
Partner, to me, that touchdown had something that was kind of rooted in that group seeing the future. And what I mean by that is they had a plan. Let's find a way to score right here before the half, and that'll give us momentum going into the second half, give us that cushion that we're looking for. They got that accomplished, scoring right before the half ended.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Jaguars ready to go on offense for the final time in this first half. And with Lawrence's arm, they may give him a shot to let this thing rip downfield. We'll see. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the 3rd. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
Foyesade Oluwakan made the tackle there from his safety position.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Yeah, he did not want to go down there as he carries tacklers for a solid gain of 9.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd and a yard. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
They run again with Walker. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
2nd down and 4. Here's Darnold. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Darnold now to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down, although it doesn't appear to be by much. He needed 4, and he got 4 on 3rd down.
I know I'm an old defender, but I've got to give credit where credit's due. That was smart play calling right there on 3rd and 4. They didn't need to do too much. Just let their guy get out there and sit down in the zone, and they hit him for the completion for the first down.
Here's Darnold. Open man, there's Bobo. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him. I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Play action. It's Darnold. That'll be caught. It's Kupp. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Cooper Kupp with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Big Leonard Williams there on the stop. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now Lawrence. A short throw taken in by Long. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They'll run with Etienne, and he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
I like this focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need one. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up two.
Here's Lawrence. Thomas has got it, complete. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be second down. Lawrence. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 43. First target, first catch, and a first down.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Back to the ground with Etienne. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On second down, Etienne once more. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
The line to gain is the 33 on third down. Here's Lawrence to throw. That is caught. He's going to have the first down and then some. And all the way down to the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
We have seen big plays from both quarterbacks throughout this game, and there's another one right there. Going back and forth, almost like two excellent guitar soloists trying to top each other with each additional play.
And they'll run with Etienne. And he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. Travis Etienne, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Jaguars are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. So a very important first drive of the third quarter, Charles, and safe to say, a much-needed touchdown.
Which leads to the question, where was this in the first half? Because if they'd had a few more drives like that, they wouldn't be in this situation. But that is the kind of drive that sends a message to the other side. We're going to be here, and we're going to battle you to the end.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. This now a 10-point game, so things tightening a little bit after that last score. To throw is Darnold. That'll be caught by Bobo. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be second down. Up the middle, here's Walker. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. And Walker once more. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Not a lot of running room there. Not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 7. Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 65 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
They'll try for the first with Walker. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the 3rd down conversion.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. A give for Walker running right. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. All-around great play by Devin Lloyd, using his athleticism to get to the backfield and his strength to stop him for a loss. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Open on the left side. This is Valdez-Scantling. So he stopped for no gain. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. Now Darnold. And that is incomplete.
3rd down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win. And the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Well, still a long way to go, but trending upward. They scored the last time out, you remember. Then their defense forced the punt. Now they try to inch closer, but still ultimately down 2 scores in the final quarter. On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Lawrence to throw. A short throw there to Strange. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. Straight ahead, Etienne. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
Only 4 yards on that gain, but, you know, a lot of people would say that's like getting 9 in normal circumstances since this was 1st and 5.
Yeah, now your playbook's wide open here, 2nd and very short.
Yeah, I still don't think that you can count it in the stats that way at contract time.
No, it still goes down as 4, not 9. From the shotgun, Lawrence throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. And this offense on 3rd down today, 5 out of 9 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. A handoff running left is Etienne. And he is going to have a Jags first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. As you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession to make sure they have a chance to win.
Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
2nd and 10. Running out of the gun with Etienne. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Off the play fake, here's Lawrence. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 31-yard line.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
They'll run the jet sweep with Brown. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Devin Witherspoon takes him down defensively.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
2nd down and 6 now. They'll try the left side with Etienne. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. Already a pair of 3rd down conversions for them on this drive, but right now they need 5 yards on this 3rd down try. Another tote for Etienne. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
And his kick is good. And this is back down to a 7-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3 and out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And we will get another look at Seattle's offense. Their lead back down to 1 score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
And that's just an ideal run to start this drive because they're in full ball control mode now. So if you keep ripping off 7, 8, 9 yards of carry, you're going to have a great chance of finishing off this game.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33. They'll look to throw here. They'll get this one to Cup, complete. He's been big, 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. He'll get that to Charbonnet. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Now 2nd and 3. Now it's Darnold. Outright to Smith and Jigba. Call it a gain of a yard, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. 87 yards for him on the ground now. On that, his 20th carry of the ball game. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
On the counter, it's Walker. Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. And he is going to lose yardage here. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now. They were going draw play there. The defense wasn't fooled. They sniffed it out.
I think they're going to have to go back and take a few more acting classes because that's what a lot of that is. You've got to influence them to think that it's going to be a pass play and have them drop out and maybe the defensive front coming forward and find yourself some space. In this case, no one was fooled and ended up spilling that play pretty well.
Jacksonville set to go again offensively. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Lawrence will throw. Well, that's the 3rd interception for Lawrence. Picked off by Ernest Jones. After the interception, here's Darnold. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Well, he's got to be careful with this game where it is, Charles, throwing those out patterns, right?
You're exactly right, because this is why we always hear teams say late in the game you're trying to close things out. You'll work the middle of the field more than the outside portion, because if you throw one out there that hangs a little bit or you float it, it can be picked off and returned for a touchdown. And boy, what a dramatic turn of events that would be.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Emmanuel Ogbah that time, able to drop him for a loss. Well, it's been a little bit of feast or famine because he's thrown for decent yardage, and obviously they've got the lead, Charles, but now he's been sacked 4 times.
And what I'm focusing on is his toughness in the pocket, because you mentioned the feast or famine part. He's played well in between being dumped on his back, but every time he's had a chance to throw the football, he's been impressive.
Throw out wide to Walker. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. So on now comes the kicker. It's Jason Myers. This to perhaps salt this one away. Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss, because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow get the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So here now, Lawrence and the Jaguars down by 10. A minute 53 remaining. They'll need a score here and also likely an onside kick recovery, but first things first. 1st and 10. Lawrence. He'll drop this one off with ETN.
That's a nice job defensively to make sure everyone was accounted for, because ordinarily you pick up the guys downfield and sometimes you forget about the running back. In this case, they did not and dropped him for no gain.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Back to throw, Lawrence. Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
And now the focus is really clear. They need to get that 1st down and either get out of bounds or maybe use one of those timeouts.
Boy, here's a big one. You can just feel it. This is 3rd down now. Here's Lawrence. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like. And now it appears that the referee's been buzzed, and we'll get a review. And this being inside 2 minutes of play, everything coming from up above. All 3 timeouts remain, but they've got to score quick. It's 1st and 10. Throwing now, Lawrence. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. Now Lawrence. A short throw there to Strange. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
And we're definitely getting towards the point of the game where not getting a lot of yards is secondary to keeping the clock moving. I mean, to me, that's a double win defensively. Short gain and some more time off the clock.
A big play looming on 3rd down. Targeting Thomas on the out route, making the catch. Yeah, boy, he had the marker square in his sights, but a good tackle's going to leave him about a yard or so short.
In this situation, the dictation is coming from the defense, right? They're going to tell you, you can have 6, 7 yards, do that all the way downfield. Let's just go ahead and take the time off the clock. I think they've got to start attacking vertically a lot more.
He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Lawrence going to throw again. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. Well, they need to score, and score quick. One timeout remaining. Final minute, 1st and 10. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Here's Lawrence. Got his man. It's the tight end Strange with it. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Now 1st and goal. Throwing again here. It's Lawrence. And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. That sack, it goes to Boye Mafe.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
A final shot now for Lawrence. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. What a performance. All those points put on the board. And, Charles, it wasn't just by the offense. The defense put some points on the board as well. They were solid today.
Yeah, it was a complete effort to secure the win, and both sides of the ball made big plays. But how demoralizing is it when the opposing defense can take one all the way back against you? And that was the case here. That really sparked them to victory.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Jacksonville.